The guys who wear this were big in the 70s, I think.
I think it reminds me of something
What did you think?
you'd see on like what's that show up in like Wyoming with Kevin Costner.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like high class rancher
In this one.
going on here.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Playing with some Western stuff.
All hat, no cattle.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's me. There's a fun Instagram what is it? Hipsters of Bozeman? Is that what it is? Something like that. And it's all these like California and people that moved to Montana, and so they're living out their cosplay dreams. And,
Yeah.
you know, and just they have pictures of them at like restaurants and stuff, and they're like at Bubba's, but like in like fur coats and boots and
Reminds me of,
$3,000 hats and
Of Dumb and Dumber, you know, when they get all
Yeah.
dressed up to
Yes,
go like
exactly.
Aspen.
That's exact. Yeah,
I love it so
That's
much.
exactly what they look like. Like the women are wearing big boots that are all furry, and yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's where it is. That's how it is up in your hometown now.
In Idaho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sandpoint, Coeur d'Alene.
yeah,
It's all the posh.
Yeah. There are the real naturalists or the natives that have grown up there, and they're eking out a living in their single wide trailers and working 60-hour weeks. And then there's those that come up with the California money and are buying up the mansions and
Yeah.
dictating what goes on in downtown
right.
Main Street, and there's kind of a civil war up there. They hate them. They have stickers on their license plates or on their bumpers that say, "Welcome to Idaho, but have a nice trip back to California."
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like, don't California my Arizona.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just speaking to a lady last week, actually, from Idaho, and she was talking about how it's very, very common for cars to be like keyed in the parking lots that have California plates up there. Like it's a
Really?
big deal. That's funny that you coined it like it's a civil war.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, they don't like it. That was the case when I lived up there back in the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a new thing.
No, it's not new at all, but it's becoming more prevalent. Yeah. It's just there are two different classes. There is the native class that grew up working in the mills, and I don't know what other types of industries are really up there as far as the natural resources, but it seemed to be the mills, the ski resort, which that's a tourist attraction, and the downtown tourist attraction, which is T-shirts and
Yeah.
furniture that's made out of hand hewn wood, and then there's the money that comes up there that's coming from out of town. The money is generally not produced there; it's generally brought and transported. So
Yeah.
Are they still doing? I mean, logging was like a massive industry up there. Is that still going on?
It was when in the 90s. It seemed like for some reason this spotted owl issue. I remember that back when Bill Clinton was elected, that he doubled down on the spotted owl being an endangered species, and it liked to live in dead trees that had to die of their own accord, after hundreds of years and fall down, and that's the only place they could live. And so logging, it basically died because of that. And in Canada, where we get most of our wood after that, apparently the spotted owl doesn't care if the tree dies naturally and falls down. Because when you're doing logging, you're not taking every tree, and a lot of trees that are taken are cut or broken down in the process of logging. They're still going to rot out, and they're still going to create hollows and stuff for animals. And the population of the animals is actually much healthier, as well as everything else, the fire suppression and everything else, when it's being maintained with human intervention, than it is just by being left naturally to grow up a bunch of underbrush until a big firestorm hits with a lightning strike. But the government comes in, intervenes, stops the production of lumber, and then not only do the disease of trees spread much more quickly, but the animals decline, the money into the forestry industry declines because there's no more hunting licenses and fishing licenses, and the lumber industry is not contributing to it. So it kind of just stagnates. That's the fingerprint of the government.
Absolutely. Snuffs out.
Yep. I was just in Montana and we were hunting, and the guy we were hunting with was saying that, people are moving in from out of state and then lobbying against hunting in Montana, and that it's every year it's a threat. It's a threat on the ballot to limit hunting or eliminate hunting, and it's all from these transplants that move there and think that it's horrible and killing and everything like that. But what people forget to understand is that a natural death in the wild is a horrible, horrible death.
Yeah.
Not one that you would ever want for anyone you loved.
Yeah.
It usually involves months and months of starvation, pain, in some cases being eaten alive, being partially eaten and left, and then you're trying to go about your day with, three of your 4 legs gone, but you didn't quite kill you yet. I mean, it's horrible. Not to mention the overpopulation, overcrowding, and so then you have these older, bigger animals competing for food with younger, thriving animals. And so hunting actually maintains the health of the herd, of the wildlife, because it's controlled. It's controlled. I recently got drawn. I got drawn yesterday.
Oh, really?
For a hunt
Congratulations.
in Idaho.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, up
For
near
what?
Lemhi.
Uh-huh.
Does that sound familiar? I know nothing about Idaho.
No, I haven't heard of
But
it.
I have a brother-in-law there who lives there, and he's a big hunter, and so he told me what areas to pick, and so I got drawn up there for deer. They list on there how many non-resident tags are available in that area. So it's it's like 72, and I always thought, what? Why not 75, 70? It's a very specific number. And that's because when we were hunting in Arizona, we have to at the end of the hunt, we have to file a report. What animals did we see? How many did we see? How big were they? Did we see any other animals? Did you see any turkeys? Did you see any pigs? Did you see any deer? So they're gathering all these reports, and then from that, they're able to estimate the population of the species, and then determine next year how many tags we're going to give, so that they keep the species at kind of a manageable level. So it's kind of like,
How honest are you?
there's
on
only
those
so much land.
reports.
What's that?
How honest are you on those? Like, are the hunters being honest, or they being like,
this is my first
I saw
time. I was like, I don't wanna lie.
15,000 deer this year.
Yeah.
Wild.
Next year there's a ton. Look how many tags there are. We all got tags. So, but there's only so much land. There's only so much food, and so it's the same for people. There's only so much, and then eventually you saturate an area, and then you stagnate, or you have to bring in resources, and animals can't do that. So to maintain the health of the animal, you got to keep them under control.
So did you get something up there in Montana?
Yeah, we were duck and geese hunting,
Oh,
which was fun. That was fun.
so remember,
That's tough. That's like skeet shooting compared to
Yes.
like a still target.
It's so cool. And the guy that we were hunting with, he has it down. I mean, he's the duck and goose, the waterfowl whisperer. But yeah, it was really cool. And it's so fun because you go out, 4 a.m. or whatever it is, before the geese, they sleep on the river. They float in like a big flotilla on the river, and that's where they sleep. And so you want to get out to, in this case, cornfields before they wake up and set up your fort, your blind, But it was cool because it was like building a fort when we were kids. We built this stuff, and we'd prop these corn stalks up and then step back, and I can see through there, so let's cover that up, because if they see that, they won't land. And then you set up all these decoys. The guy had just a trailer of different kinds of decoys for ducks and geese and everything, and you're putting those out to make it look like, here's the party, guys.
Yeah.
So when you're flying over, look.
These ducks are happy.
Yeah,
You
these
should come
ducks are
join me.
happy. They're eating. Look at these pretty girl ducks. Come down. Come down. And they're so cool. They look like a squadron of like fighter jets coming in, and they circle 3 or 4 times. They're scoping it out. They're checking out the party, looking for guys like us, looking for danger. And you can't look at them. If you turn your head up and they see face and eyes,
Wow.
they're gone. So you're looking down, there's just one guy looking up. And he's calling, doing the duck calls and everything, or the geese calls or whatever it is. And they circle around, and then, just like jets, they kind of circle, and each circle they get a little lower and a little lower and a little lower. It's just the coolest thing. I mean, it's really neat. And then they kind of come in and they do this formation, which they call hugging the pumpkin. And it looks like they're wrapping their wings like around a big pumpkin. They kind of take on this circular, because they're kind of coasting in. And then when they get to about 10 or 12 feet off the ground, okay, boys, and you pop up and you take them out. And
Because that's the point of nowhere. They can't take off again in flight.
it's a little more difficult for them because they're on a downward trajectory, and so they have to really work to get back up. They're big birds. They're 10, 15 pounds. And they're kind of stuck there. And it's just like the game Duck Hunt. They're just kind of looking at you like, oops, and so it's pretty cool. And then it's kind of like fly fishing in a way where you're fooling them. You've tricked them. You successfully tricked these 8 geese to come in and come down. And so it was fun. And then duck hunting's kind of the same thing, but it's kind of on the river or on the water. And it was a good time.
So what do you do with them after you bag these geese? And what is the limit? You get 5?
You get 5. You can get, there's different limits for different species. We got 5 each is kind of the limit. But then there's rules about bonus ducks or bonus geese.
Oh yeah?
So you can actually get a little more than 5, which I think is just a little bit of leeway in case you accidentally
hit
take 2 or something like that. But
well, do the different species like hang out with each other? So you could blast a whole flock.
So you'll have these kind of Canadian geese, and then mixed in there will be some snow geese, which are the all white ones. And then there'll be ducks in there too. So there'll be mallards kind of hanging out, but kind of the ducks kind of stay together. The geese kind of stay together, but they'll kind of all fly together. And it's pretty incredible. I have video of kind of just these thousands just flying overhead, and they're loud, and you can just hear them. And they're a couple 100 feet in the air, but they sound like they're right, next to you, just barking and doing their thing. And then, so then once you gather them, we took them back to a friend's shop, and he has what's called a duck plucker, and it's this machine, right? Adam's getting excited. Yeah. So
I'm listening.
Yeah, because if you had to pluck them by hand, that would be a lot, So there's 7 or 8 of us times 5, so there's 35, 40 birds you have to pluck. That's a lot. And
Sounds
this
like an
thing is
insult.
just this wheel with like these rubber fingers on it.
Duck plucker.
Yeah. With these rubber fingers on it. And it just kind of spins around.
I see him at not Harbor Freight, Cal Ranch.
Yeah. Well worth the investment if you're into waterfowl hunting. It's well worth it because it'll pluck a duck or a goose in seconds.
Do they use the same thing for chickens?
I was just going to ask that.
You could use it for chickens, I would think.
I think
That's why it's a cow
they're
ranch.
pretty common.
Yeah, so you can, and they're cool. And then you hook a shot back up to the back of it, so there's all the feathers get sucked away. You're not cleaning up a big old mess. But so then we plucked them, and then you dress them. You take them apart, quarter them, freeze them, bring them home. We brought home.
Is there any
100 pounds of duck and goose?
cheat ways to make the feathers come off easier? Like there's a lot of chicken
stuff. I think you dip them in hot water or something
like that, or
then it comes off.
Dance around 3 times or something.
Get yourself a duck plucker. It's
You duck plucker.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Have you ever plucked a chicken?
Yeah.
Do you eat your chickens? Any
you
broilers
have
in the
chickens.
flock?
I have. It wasn't tasty. I don't know. I'm not a very good cook. And so we had a couple. There were these guinea hens.
Yeah, I remember that. They're so loud.
Yeah, they're
Annoying.
super loud. They're like a mix between a turkey and a chicken. and they squawk like a barking dog at you, and it's really annoying, and you can't catch them. So anyways, we were thinning the flock, and we took out a couple of these guinea hens and dressed them out and ate a couple bites of them, and couldn't do it. Like, I don't know if it was just the smell of dressing them out that was just stuck in my nostrils, but it tasted exactly like their guts. And yeah, they were cooked. We cooked them over a campfire. We're trying to do it, legit style. And I just added a little bit of garlic salt, and they were not good. In fact, it cured me of wanting any chicken for about a week or two.
Really?
Wow.
Chicken's chicken's underrated, I think, as far as meat
Versatile
goes. We
meat.
kind of just say chicken, like, oh, we're gonna have chicken.
Yeah, but I think
pretty
there's a
dang
lot that goes
delicious.
into it, to making them nice and plump and juicy,
Sure.
and of course, you not participating in the whole processing of them, I think helps, because when you see what goes on and smell,
Yeah,
yeah, that taints it.
it's not attractive,
No.
and there's a lot of mess. It's just not. When we're done, we have these nice, clean duck legs, duck breasts, and all that. But there's a whole bunch more duck off to the side.
It's pretty greasy too, right? It's a greasy
Duck
type
is
of fowl.
well, I wouldn't use the word greasy, but waterfowl's very fatty
Yeah.
because they live in very cold. You sleep in a cold, half frozen river, so you got to be pretty insulated. So duck has a lot of fat, but you can render that out. But it is a dark meat, so it's like the whole duck is like chicken thigh. So it's a dark meat. It's almost red like beef. So it's. But I love it. It's one of my favorites. And that's why I love it, because it's very fatty. But it's kind of all worked in. It's not like you get like a big chunk of fat.
No,
like
yeah.
a steak.
No, right.
But it's very tender. Some people like it. Some people don't like it.
Why don't they like it? You think because
I think because of that.
gamey, kind of gamey?
Yeah, and it's all in how you cook it. Probably like with the chicken that we had. I'm sure that somebody that knew their way around a kitchen could cook the guineas up that would taste delicious. I mean, lobster, the same thing. You eat lobster without preparing it correctly,
Yeah.
it's just going to taste nasty.
Slimy
but
and gross,
you prepare it and it tastes like butter and garlic, and that's
That's interesting. I bought several cookbooks by again Hank Shaw, and one is Duck Duck Goose, and it's all duck and goose recipes. And then I bought one Buck Buck Moose, which is all deer, elk, moose recipes.
this Hank guy, man. He's got a
Oh, it was pretty clever.
It's super
Yeah.
clever.
Super
I want it.
clever. And
I
I
would
wonder
never
which
use
book was first. I'll need to look up which book was first, but probably Duck Duck Goose. And then he came to the publisher with his next book. It was like, okay, I want to go with all wild game.
yeah. We're getting crazy.
What are we going to call this? And he's like, well, the first one was Duck Duck Goose.
Yeah.
We just have to change 3 letters. And we got Buck Buck Moose. But yeah,
so much.
I thought it was pretty clever. I would have bought it just for that.
Exactly.
But the recipes are really good. We made our first elk recipe from our elk that my wife harvested in November, and it was good. Elk pot
I like
pie.
the word harvest. It makes it sound very civil.
That's the word they use. That's what it is. You're harvesting.
You didn't gun it down in the prime of its life. You harvested it.
No. We harvest it, and we harvested so well I had to buy another freezer to
Wow.
to store the harvest while we work through it.
Yeah. And what about the head that you harvested?
That's being taxidermied.
Is it really?
Yeah. My wife got a trophy elk.
Yeah, I saw it. It was gigantic.
It could hang on the wall in Sprague's. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful. And so I suggested a European mount, which is just the skull and the antlers. And my wife said, "No, I want the whole thing," because it was beautiful. It was like golden blonde and it was a nice elk. The antlers are very charcoal, almost black, because of where it lived. So it was different than other elk in the area.
It was up in near Flagstaff.
It was it was up near there, but this elk had come down from much higher up because their antlers take on the color of the trees that they rub against. And so the antlers of the ones in the Flagstaff area are a different color than the ones that are higher elevations where there's different kinds of pines and things like that. And so they estimated this elk could come down 40, 50 miles trek to get to where it was. And it was hanging around with another bull when she took it. And then the hunting guide that we were with was also guiding another hunter from Yuma at the same time. And so when we found our bull, it was with another bull. And so our guide called their guide and said, hey, there's 2 over here. We're going to go after one. They hadn't seen one in 3 days. We saw ours 20 minutes into the hunt.
Oh, no way.
Our whole hunt was under an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. They, made sure to tell my wife, this is not how it goes. You're spoiled. Don't expect this. If you come again, don't expect this. But yeah, they picked us up, and 20 minutes later, she was taking a shot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
How many shots did it take?
She fired 8, hit 6.
Whoa.
Yeah, these things are strong. These things do not go down. And so it would have gone down, and it did eventually. We just had to kind of keep an eye on it, and then it went down. But it was still trying to run, and so she did well. She shot well and did really well. But it wasn't like
So she didn't get
like
the elk fever? She wasn't all shaky and jamming the shells in the chamber?
Well, I was helping her with extra magazines when it was time to reload.
How many fits in the magazine? 5?
3.
3?
3. You can do 3 or 5. There's some rule for that too. I need to probably read up on the hunting laws, but I think 5's the max that you can have in the rifle, I think. But ours had 3, and then it's about a 280-yard shot for the first shot.
That's a decent. That's a distance.
That's a long ways. It's a long ways. So it was enough to not mortally wound it, but eventually it would have died. So then she took some other shots to help it go down. And then it took off. And so we had to jump back in the truck and go chase it down. And at one point we probably could have run it over, because it ran right across the highway. Right. And so right in front of us, and had he floored it more, we probably could have just hit it.
Yeah.
And the other bull stayed
Joke's
with
on
it,
you,
which was
though,
shocking.
when that happens.
Yeah. Because, if I'm with you and you get shot, I'm not staying with you. I'm running. Mm-hmm. And this bull just hung out there and waited for these other Yuma hunters to get there. And then they took their bull. Same kind of thing, though. They hit it, and then it took off, and then you have to go find it. And
Then what? So how do you?
How hard is it to find it? Because you're not seeing it the entire time, right? You're having to track it.
It's amazing how they disappear. Amazing. Because they're huge. They're huge, and Rachel's was golden yellow, like blonde. But even so, if he decided to just turn a certain way, he's gone.
Right.
You won't see him. So there is a little trail of blood, so you can kind of follow that. And then we could always see him because he was injured enough that he couldn't go very far without stopping and going, wow, I need to slow down. So, and then, so we always kind of had an eye on him, but he wouldn't let us get, like, when he knew that we were kind of climbing up close to him, he would move again and try to get behind, a bunch of brambles or branches or whatever and hide. And they disappear. It's pretty incredible that this several 100-pound, 7-foot tall creature can just disappear.
Right.
They did.
And they're quiet.
Super quiet.
That was my question. So now you find it, you come up on it, it's massive. What do you do? I mean, do you harvest right there to a certain extent?
So we right there. So right there, you make sure that he's gone, right? And then our guide, I helped, and our guide, you field dress it right there, so you skin it, you take the head, you carve out we took all the edible meat. It was pretty crazy.
You left the skin.
We have the skin. when you do a full head mount, you have to leave what's called the cape. You have to leave a pretty big amount of skin so that they can use it to wrap and then use it for patching and things like that. But but yeah, when we were done, we quartered it, legs and all of that. That's a good amount of the meat is right there. And then, carving out the ribs. I wanted the whole ribs and turn it into like racks of ribs. A lot of times they'll just carve the rib meat out and leave the ribs. But then you leave there just all the inedible portion, and then the animals will come get that.
Yeah.
So it's and pretty quick. I mean, we field dressed that thing in under an hour, and if he was with experienced hunters, it probably would have been quicker.
Was he like teaching you as you went along?
Kind of, yeah. This is why I'm doing this. And I was asking, I'm
Yeah.
inquisitive. I asked a lot of questions, why are you doing this and why not this and all that. And he had reasons for everything, it's what they do, so he's the expert. But
does the meat spoil or something if you do it?
If you cut the wrong thing, you can get, the fluids of,
Toxic.
and some of it'll either ruin the meat or then you have to like do other things to the meat to salvage it. So you want to be careful. You don't want to just go in there and hack away because you'll ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you need to be pretty quick. You want to do it while it's
You're just using a knife? Or did you have a sawzall? What were you using?
knife. And then at one point we had a hacksaw for the ribs and stuff because you're cutting through the bone. So, but yeah, it was very, very interesting to see. And, you try to put yourself in kind of our ancestors' position. Like, this is how they got their food.
Yeah.
The grocery store didn't exist really until, much later, early for us, right? Probably sooner rather than later for us, the grocery store, the idea of going to the store and getting your food. Before that, it was you grew your chickens, you harvested them, you'd go hunting, and you might get a deer or something like that, or you'd have, a herd of cattle and you'd slaughter one. And this was daily life, for these people. And so it was really, neat to see, and you kind of connect with that part of you that is kind of, we all have
Primitive.
it. Yeah, it's very primitive. It's very primitive, but, in a good way. So we came out of there with 350 pounds of meat that'll feed us for a long, long time.
So did it take you several trips to pack it back and to go back and get the rest of the meat?
No, so
how do you carry that much meat?
Fortunately, well, you have the meat, the game bags, which are like a fabric cloth bag that allows it to breathe and everything. But then he was able to bring his vehicle in pretty close to us, and so we were able to just load it into there.
Truck?
Yeah, 4Runner.
So another person came.
No, that was our guy.
That was your guy.
That was our guide. So he was able to bring his car around. We were able to load all this quartered and cut meat into there, put the head on the top, and you do the triumphant drive through town. He actually had also gotten lucky with a tag. So because he was able to finish our hunt so early, he was able to go out and he got one of his own later that day. He texted me a picture, a big old monster, bigger than Rachel's. So anyway, he took us back to our cabin. We unloaded everything into my truck. Then you drive over to a processor. There's a whole bunch of business surrounding hunting. Then you drive over to a processor. In this case, we went to Casey's in Flagstaff, and they're a well-known processor because I asked around, where should I take it? And you get in line. So it's hunting season. These places are open practically 24/7 during hunting season. And you get in line, and there's 8 or 9 or 10 trucks, all with their hunt in the back. And then when it's your turn, you pull up to the bay. They have a big, if it's a big animal, if you haven't quartered it or whatever, they'll do that there. We did ours in the field. So then they gather it all up and then ask you, how much do you want in sausage? How much do you want in
Burger?
The burger, all that. Do you want us to mix beef fat in with the burger? And they ask you a bunch of questions. and then you kind of leave it all there, and then you drive away, and then 2 weeks later you get the call that your meat's ready. So then I had to drive back up and get it, bring it home. So we took the animal at like 7 a.m. and then quartered it, took it to the processor, then took the head to the taxidermist, who's also there almost 24/7 this time of year. She was actually a lady from our church, and we asked our guy, should we call first? Is she going to be there? He's like, oh, she'll be there. So, but probably not from like 9 to 11 because she goes to church. So then we went there, and yeah, she's there, and she's like, yep, bring it in. And if you haven't been to like a taxidermy place, that's wild. That's wild.
Wild or freaky?
Yes. So there's every kind of an animal you can imagine in there, in every state you can imagine. Like just skinned, or there's big skins on the floor covered in salt. And they'll leave them like that for months and months and months. And then the salt, pulls all the moisture out of it or whatever, but allows it the weight of the salt keeps it stretched out, so, and then just on this roof is just hooks and hooks and hooks and just antlers and antlers and antlers of every animal you can imagine with antlers, and then over here is a big bear, or whatever. And, she's just like, okay, put it there. And like, how do you keep these straight?
Yeah.
And our friends from Yuma had just dropped theirs off before us, and I told her, I said, don't mix it up because ours is better. I don't want, ours is better than Nathan's. I don't want Nathan's. So then, but yeah, she has a system and she knows where everything's at and everything. And then we went back. So we were back at the house sitting in the hot tub by 3 p.m. on the first day of the hunt. Yeah. And we were done. That was it.
Those types of professions, I think, are really underappreciated because the amount of skill that goes into, getting all of the meat and processing it and making sure that the right amount of fat and however the sausage
and that's
is
handled
made.
correctly, it's to make you sick, and then
Exactly.
packaged and wrapped correctly and
Their
frozen
whole reputation is
correctly.
based on if someone's going to get sick from the meat that they've processed. And you don't hear about anybody walking, oh, that's a nice, wealthy taxidermist right there. Or this guy, this guy knows how to really make some good sausage. But the product that we enjoy at the on the end of the assembly is like, that's what we're sitting down to these fancy dinners for.
Right.
We never celebrate the whole process of them doing it or the learning that they went through. It's probably generational. It's probably some type of family that, had done it before them.
I didn't ask her, but I assumed from the operation.
Yeah.
And then when I'd call, she would
It wasn't
answer.
career day, that they
No,
decided.
my bet is this is
what I want to be
family
when I grow up.
business.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because I thought about, okay, let's think about from our one hunt. So we got the one tag, which we paid the state. So you've got the state agencies that benefit from that. We have the Airbnb we rented. So there's some money. While we were there, we ate and shopped and visited, places and restaurants and things like that. So they benefit from our hunt. Then our guide benefited. He benefited really well because it was a 5-day hunt and it was done in 2 hours. So he benefited really well. So that supports him and his family, and that's a family operation. It's just dad and his boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the processor, you pay them to process the meat and do all that. Then the taxidermist and, here at Logan Sprague's, we bought our ammo and got our gun sighted in and our scope and everything here. So, all of that one animal generated all of that for all those families.
Mm-hmm.
And all those except for maybe the federal government portion of it we're all family businesses that's what they do, and their parents are there, kids are there, they're doing it, they're teaching their kids how to do it. They'll be hunting guides for generations off of these hunts from that one hunt that we did.
Yeah, the individuals that monitor the herds and make sure, how big they are and how healthy they are and how many tags to issue. They're all paid from the fees that you're
Yeah.
paying for the tags. And so the hunters are really the ones that are generating the healthy animal population that's in the woods. And sometimes they get a bad rap for just wanting to go out and kill animals, but no, they actually have the bigger appreciation.
Right.
You can't appreciate really what's out there until you go out and try to find it and assimilate kind of with it, because you can't find it very, very well if you're not quiet and trying to figure out what its habitat is like and what it likes to eat and where it likes to hide. And you really gain an appreciation for how smart these animals are. They're not just like bumbling around, like eating whatever green brush is around them. They're extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
And like you say, their fur blends in perfectly with the environment. All of that is just, it's pretty majestic, the process.
It is. We learned a lot, and then you just feel really, even our short little spoiled hunt, you just feel connected somehow to that area, to that animal, to all of that. And so that's probably still in our DNA somewhere, where that's where we started, was doing that way. Probably, I haven't gotten into archery. That's probably even one step closer to the ancestors. But, it's not to sound cheesy or cliche or anything, but, it really connects you to those that came before, because you get an appreciation of how hard that life was. I mean, that life was difficult and not guaranteed. There's people that go on these hunts and come back with nothing. They see nothing. They don't take a single shot. Rocky, one of the guys that works for me, I always give him a hard time because he hunts but he never seems to get anything. For as long as he's worked with me, every hunt he comes back empty-handed. I don't even know why he keeps going, but he keeps going. I give him a hard time.
Yeah, that's called a hike.
What's that?
That's called a hike.
Yeah. So he goes on a couple hikes a year.
Yeah.
But he loves it, and he goes out and does it, and it's a lot of fun. And he has gotten things in the past, just not since I've known him. And but there, it's hard. It's difficult.
Sorry, Rocky.
There's no guarantee. These animals move. These animals, just like you say, are intelligent, and maybe they saw you coming before you ever saw them, and they're gone. So it's just really, really cool and neat. And then it connects you to that. And then, like I mentioned before, a death in the wild is gruesome. None of us would want a natural death in the wild. They don't just go to sleep. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of torture. It's terrible. And so you can take this animal, you can give it a good death. It's, you can't shoot them below a certain size. So that this animal has likely increased the population, has lived its life, it's partied, it's done well. And now we're going to take it, and then it'll be honored in our family for years and generations, and then the memories that we have of it, and of our interaction with it. So yeah, and then when you walk up on it, you just kind of feel like you just said, it's just majestic, and when you touch it for the first time, it's very, sobering moment. So it's not something that you just go out there and let's just fire off into the distance, and if we hit something, or whatever. And my mom always raised us we never hunted. This was my first hunt. I didn't even hunt. My wife hunted. I watched. This is my first hunting watch. And my mom always raised us that, we don't do that. We never hunted. We never went shooting birds. We never went shooting rabbits or anything like that. Because life is precious, and
God's creatures.
Yeah, God's creatures. And I believe that legitimately. It's something that you have respect for it. You take it seriously. So it's unfortunate that some people don't, because it makes it difficult for everyone else that does.
We interviewed a couple ladies from the local hunting club, and
Dove hunters.
They were explaining the same experience. Like, it's almost like a spiritual experience when you connect like that with this animal that you mean, it gets such a bad rap.
It's very religious.
Yeah,
for sure. It has that same type of vibe to it. With other hunters too, there's a respect that everybody understands.
And it
with the
should. I think if you're
outdoors
doing it right,
and the animals,
it should.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it should. So even when we were shooting the waterfowl, the geese and the ducks, there's, you respect them. Those things are awesome. It's not just some dirty bird out there just making a mess. You really, you look at them, you feel them, you touch them,
Yeah.
you feel the weight of them. This is a living thing. This is.
You see their beak and their feathers,
Yeah.
and how intricate it is, and
Well, and you think about, so when I got home back to Yuma, and right here, the Colorado River is one of the premier waterfowl hunting spots in Arizona. I didn't know that. So I got back and I looked up like, oh, where can you do them here? And so getting back, I was seeing these squadrons of these geese, flying in. And I thought, how cool would that be if some of these geese flew over us when we were in Montana? Just the miles these things cover, what they see, and everything is just impressive. It's like you say, it's majestic to think that this creature is now here in the Colorado River, and a few months ago it was in Canada, and it's made its trek all the way down here, and it's survived being shot at all the way down here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So what was the highlight and low light of the whole process? The highlight, of course, is potentially
The highlight's actually getting one.
Yeah.
'Cause that's always a question.
the adrenaline
Yeah.
right there and then.
Yeah. And that hit, I didn't even take the shot, and that hit me, that you kind of feel this like rush of emotion. And for Rachel, it was much more dramatic because she actually took the shot. So, that rushed over her, and it was emotional, and so, and still just last night she was telling me, yeah, I was just thinking about it, and, that little bit of emotion will always be there. But
what emotion are you talking about? Like, I just took a life, or
all of it,
more like
all of it. It's a adrenaline rush. It's buck fever, just like they say. You're excited to actually see one. In my life, I've probably only seen elk in the wild 3-4 times, so it's, to actually see one and then connect with it and harvest it and do all that, top to bottom, is an emotional experience. It's special.
yeah.
And I think it should be special.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the highlight of all that. The low light, funny enough, I'm grateful that we got one. I'm disappointed that we got one so quick,
Oh,
because I invested a lot into this hunt and the gear and everything else that it takes. It's not easy, and it's not inexpensive. Gathered for a year. I'm watching every sale. I'm watching every clearance. I'm watching we need that, underlayer and all this stuff. Cause I was expecting 4 or 5 days out in the frigid cold. We had 20 minutes in the truck, so I was kind of like, well, shoot, I could have done this, pretty easy.
in your jeans and t-shirt.
So now we're all set up. So now I'm looking for any hunt I can go on, because now I've already invested into the infrastructure. So now let's go. So I was elated, and also at the same time disappointed that it was so quick. But it was great for us because it was our first time, it was our first foray into it. And had we gone 3 or 4 days and not seen anything, or even come home empty-handed, I'm not sure we'd be jumping to go again. So that was the highlight, and the low light was probably, getting one, but then getting one so quick. It was kind of
So is that a bucket list thing, or is it something that now you are a hunter? You're going to be putting in.
I would like to get to the point where I hunt. Yeah. So I put in for the different draws. I got drawn for deer yesterday in Idaho. So I'll be going to do that. Put in for the draw in Montana. So we'll go do that. Probably go do the duck and geese hunting again next year. That was a really good time. So yeah, I would like to. I'd like to. I don't want a house full of carcasses and trophies and things like that. But the process of hunting is enjoyable. just everything that goes into it is really cool. The whole, just everything from the gear. I'm kind of a, gear head. Like this fabric does this, and this is, and these are their specific purposes, and the engineering of the gear is interesting to me. And then the ammo and the ammunition, the right scope, the right rifle, the right setup, the right this or that. It's just, there's a lot of fun tools and gear and apparatus that are involved with hunting that attracts me to it. And then, during COVID, we watched Meat Eater, all 11 seasons of that. So that kind of hooks you and gets you into it, and then there's the whole cooking process of it, which you guys know I love. So it's a whole nother realm of, okay, never cooked goose before. I've heard of like the Christmas goose.
Right.
I don't know if goose is any good. So we're going to try it and we'll see.
Oh, you haven't had it yet?
Haven't tried the goose. I've had the goose in like a jerky stick,
okay.
which is good. But that's been processed and seasoned. And
yeah.
So it's not the same as here's a goose breast. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bright red. I mean, it looks like beef sitting there. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be tough, if it's going to be gross, or I don't know. We'll try it.
Is there an animal or hunt that you're like, this is my dream? Like, the helicopter in Texas going after boar.
Pork chop.
You seen that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I don't know how sporting that is. I think that's just a flex by rich dudes or something. But I don't know. I mean, everybody. I'd love a buffalo.
Whoa.
Wow.
Buffalo.
I like
They
that.
still do that?
Tatanka.
Yeah. So I've looked into it. So there's buffalo hunts that you can do. It's very managed, very controlled, and usually on private land. So it's usually they grow these buffalo for this, and you basically buy permission to go and get one. And there's actually a ranch in Utah that has white buffalo.
Oh,
Yeah.
it tastes better.
I don't know. I don't know if it tastes better, but definitely, you kind of, I'd like to do that. I'd like to get a buffalo.
Buffalo is your trophy. That's what you
Buffalo's kind of my spirit animal. Like I've always really looked at buffalo as one of the coolest animals to ever walk the earth.
Yeah, that is one of the great tragedies.
They just have a mystique and they have a look, and they're just that big woolly coat is just so impressive.
There are
and cool.
millions and millions of them.
Yeah.
And, I have a theory that they created the Great Prairies, just the trampling and all of the
Dung.
manure and dung that gets trampled into the prairies, that the lack of buffalo created potentially the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression that we saw. Part of it, after, in the 1930s, because all those herds have been trampling back and forth and over the Great Plains and creating the great grasslands. And then without those, it dwindles. Grass, grows up and becomes this thatch that is pretty much impenetrable. A lot of people use it for roofs,
Right.
and it keeps out the rain and the sun and everything else. And so it doesn't grow unless you've got this big, heavy animal trampling it down and eating it and fertilizing it. And so with millions and millions of buffalo going back and forth over the grasslands, so they figured, you gotta let it go. Keep it. The first attempt to protect the grasslands was to keep people and animals off of it. Well, that was catastrophic. That turned into desertification.
Yeah, there's
it
no
just became
regeneration.
barren. Yeah. And so they're like, oh, okay, so we got to get animals back on it. And cattle was the closest thing manageable that we could get back on it. And it started regenerating a lot of the grasslands. And so a lot of the state leases go out for, these cattle grazing lands, and it's helping bring back the grasslands and bringing back even these microclimates where there's streams again where there weren't before. But all of that to say is that, the buffalo, and had we done something that was regulated, and I hate using the term because gets into the government
It's a government
aspect.
agency.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, not getting crazy about it and just killing them for sport, but killing them for a purpose and harvesting the amount that could be used. I think that's one of the great tragedies that doesn't get spoken of very much about the modernization of the West, is that the disappearance of the big buffalo herds out there.
Yeah,
How many buffalo do you know are...
I have no idea.
Huh.
If only there was a device that we could ask.
Exactly.
But
right now.
it's while you're looking that up. But yeah, I mean they're just, there's something about them. I've got a bunch of buffalo artwork at my house.
That's cool.
There's
I
just
didn't know
something about that animal that is really draws me. I'm really drawn to it. And then someday, if I ever find one, I can turn into a Treyu and hunt the purple buffalo
that. Oh, that's a thing?
from Neverending Story.
Oh. I never saw that movie.
That's why he was selected, because he was the greatest hunter of his people. His people hunt the purple buffalo.
I don't know why I never saw that movie. It was everywhere.
You never saw the
No, I
Neverending
remember the
Story?
VHS and I know the picture. I know all the stuff. Everybody
Have you still never seen it?
I've never seen it. I'm not going to see it.
Wow.
why.
Well, that explains a lot about you. There's always been something missing when I think about Adam.
Never-ending story. That's the piece.
The Neverending Story is
Well, Labyrinth. I got Labyrinth, and
Labyrinth, but Neverending Story more so. There's a lot of lessons for life that helped me evolve
I see.
as a growing man that I learned from the Neverending Story.
Just hearing the title makes me... It brings back the taste of some type of protein bar that was probably expired that I would eat. I would go to a babysitter certain days, and I was too young at the time to remember exactly why I went there for those days. But anyways, I went to a babysitter for certain days of the week, and they had these protein bars of some type, and that's all they had as a snack to eat. And for some reason, it was in this unfinished basement that I watched this movie.
Okay, this is getting eerie.
Yeah, and I loved the smell of drywall, of the chalk, of the drywall.
Okay.
And so here's something, there's some dark secret that's coming out right now. I used to nibble on that chalk.
Really?
And eat those protein
Oh, my
bars.
God.
So chalk and protein bars is what,
And so-
I can literally taste and smell that when I hear the Never-Ending Story. And I'm a little bit nauseated to like hear it, because it wasn't good, but it was just like, I'm down here.
Yeah.
There's this edge of a drywall hanging out by a 2x4. I'm like, that looks tasty. I think I'll nibble on
Wow.
that.
This is incredible. See what you missed, Adam?
Yeah, you could have got
Watch
in on
Neverending
that.
Story. You too could eat drywall.
Well, I found the answer about how many buffalo there are in North America, and it's between 400 and 500,000.
Okay.
Have you been to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
When you went there, so we went a few years ago, and as you pull, there's a little bit of a drive from the highway portion to the actual rim, and as you go through there, I mean, there were buffalo everywhere.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I was like, "There's buffalo!"
Yeah. Well, they're managed now.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's a whole bunch in Yellowstone and Utah and everywhere else. I mean, they're managed. I mean, you can go into, not any grocery stores here, but there's some places you go to grocery stores and buffalo's available.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. The meat's delicious. It's naturally a little bit salty. And I prefer
It's naturally salty.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And I prefer it to beef. It's really,
Because they put out so many salt licks for them?
I don't know what it is.
I don't think that it's salty naturally. I think it's because
It is. I've had it untouched.
No. I believe that their meat is salty, but I think
Oh.
that's because human intervention. I think we put out a bunch of salt licks for them.
Maybe. Well, way to go. We've contributed a little bit to improve the buffalo. 'Cause
Well,
it's delicious.
here's the quiz for the day. How many buffalo roamed during their heyday between the 17 and 1800s?
Oh, wow. It had to be in the millions.
1 million.
Okay, 1 million, Adam says.
I'm gonna venture say 2 million.
2 million. About 45 million.
Whoa.
45 million.
Yeah.
So what's the population of the United States right now?
350 million.
Okay. Wow.
45 million buffalo.
Wow.
So they probably would outweigh the entire population of the current United States.
Wow. Well, they would need to be managed.
That's
Could you imagine if they were just around all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to ride one.
Can you?
People have, if you YouTube guy on a buffalo, there's a really fun,
There's always going to be some
there's
guy.
a real fun series. There was a movie made, I think in the 70s, and it was called Guy on a Buffalo. And it was the story in the Old West of this guy that rode a buffalo and his adventures. But then some weird bluegrass band made a series of music videos called Guy on a Buffalo, and there's like 5 or 6 parts, and it's some of the most entertaining. I mean, it's what the internet was created for.
Yeah.
Because it's so good, and it's clips from this movie in the 70s. You know, this 70s blonde, long-haired, you know, cowboy kind of guy, and he comes across a old prairie town, and then he comes across some poachers that want to kill the buffalo, and you know, he and the buffalo strike first, you know, and take him out. It's pretty great. My kids and I quote it all the time. So Guy on a Buffalo, search that, start with part 1 and work your way through. And I guarantee you will watch it more than once.
I don't know. Some red flags are already going off.
Nope. Trust me. It's the reason the Lord gave us the internet.
Really?
Yes.
Guy on a
it's that
Buffalo.
good. Guy on a Buffalo.
I'm going to watch this, but I'll tell you what. Some people have given me some movie recommendations before, and I've watched them and been very disturbed about the amount of brain cells I've lost.
No, this
Dark
isn't.
period
So
of
you're
the
not
movie.
watching the movie that the clips are from.
Okay.
The clips have been used, and these guys narrate it in musical form. And
Man, it's getting better and better.
it's so good. I mean, if I could only watch one thing on the internet, it would be Guy on a Buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parts 1 through 6 or 7, how many parts there
And
are.
we can find it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Guy on a Buffalo. So I think you need to have a link. Put a link up here, Martine,
Okay.
you know, for the part 1. But yeah, it's that good. I mean,
Okay.
it'll change your life.
Well, do you have a thing you hate for this month's podcast?
Yeah, so I recently did a few flights because we went up for Christmas.
That's
We closed the
Send
office
us
from Christmas
pictures.
to New Year's.
It's easy when you're traveling to come up with something you hate.
Yeah, I mean, the human being is so interesting. Fascinating thing, the human being. We are the strangest creature on the face of the earth. But the most strange thing you can do is bring a dog to the airport. I don't know
is a
why.
trend that
Why
is
are we
surging right
doing
now.
this? Why are we doing this?
Because
And then
dogs have replaced children.
it's not only that. I have lived my life to position myself at a point in my life where I don't have to eat with dogs. And so when I go to a restaurant and someone's eating with a dog
Yeah.
and forcing me to eat while a dog is adjacent, I just don't understand the human being. Why are we doing this? Why am I eating with a dog? And the fact that I am the one creating the offense when I suggest that the dog not be
Yes.
At the table.
at the table.
Well, yeah, and it's not like
Is-
these hillbillies with our hound dogs. It's these posh. It's
yeah.
the upper echelons of society.
My
that bring
daughters
their
told
dogs.
me it's the crusty white dog. So the crusty white dog is the symbol of that posh lifestyle. And then when you walk into a restaurant and you have a crusty white dog and you set that dog down near me who's eating, it just blows me away. It blows me away where we've come. You know, so we went.
The dog
from-
barks at you and they look at you and scowl.
Or doesn't bark, just sits there and vibrates and looks at you strangely, you know, because you're the stranger,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's just dogs in restaurants, dogs in airports.
You
What
don't get
have
it.
we done?
Yeah.
It growls at you and they look at you like, "What have you done to my
Right.
dog to make it growl?" Usually he likes people. What's
Yeah.
going on with you? It's like,
It's the
"Listen."
best judge of character, so there must be something wrong with you. No, what's wrong with me is I appreciate hygiene, and I appreciate the fact that we're in a climate-controlled technologically advanced society. And yet there's an animal here. It's eating with me. It's the thing I hate right now. So
when you're flying with them too. A lot of
they're in the seat. They're in a little case.
Every flight that I'm on, there's at least 2 or 3, and that's minimum. Sometimes more, but they're putting them on these carry-ons and putting them under the seat.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is a 5-hour flight. What's the likelihood that dog's not going to have a bowel movement in 5 hours?
Or see something that sets it off. So now, before I get roasted, I love animals. I have them. I have had dogs my whole life. I have a dog currently who we love, and we're carrying, because she's getting old, but we support her and love her and bathe her and clean her and take her to the vet and all of these things. And I have a cat who we love. So I'm not anti-dog. I don't want this to be mistaken for anti-dog. I just don't, these dogs roll around on the ground and they eat their own poop, and so to think that you're going to bring this thing into an eating establishment or onto really close proximity with strangers, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I lack that
empathy.
Yeah, it's not for us.
What's your alternative? How else are people going to travel?
Leave the dog at home. Make friends. The friends can take care of the dog. And there's really fantastic boarding options. There's right here in town, right on Main Street. You can leave your cat or you can leave your dog. And I know her. It's where we take our cat to get groomed. She does a great job. I can't remember the name of the business right now. Cat House or something. But she's fantastic and she takes really good care. She loves those pets. Those people are happy to watch your dog. They're happy to do it. So what are we doing? Why are we bringing the dog with us everywhere we go? It's not a person. And I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for that, but a dog is not a person.
Well, I hate it when people allow their dog to jump on you or sniff you. Like, a dog is going to sniff your crotch, right? That's what.
But it's not the dog's fault.
And
that's my point.
I
don't hate the dog.
No, I hate the people.
Dog, it's not your fault that you're here sharing my Chipotle burrito. It's not your fault.
No, and as I'm in somebody's house, sitting on their couch, and their dog is constantly stiffing its nose in my crotch, it's like, do you not see this? And the other people are like, oh, he really likes you. And I'm like,
that's my point.
That's disgusting. Like, can I'm pushing its nose away, and I'm kind of like trying to be nice. I'm just at the point of kicking it. And if I did kick it, right, I'm gonna go off and handcuff somewhere. And
or if you were to ask the dog to leave the room or to have the dog be taken from the room.
Oh yeah.
Woe unto your soul.
I'd be banished.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is the people that drive me nuts. Plus, neighborhoods. it's you go down neighborhoods in any neighborhood in town. You're gonna hear dogs barking. And I don't hate the dogs. I like dogs in general, but the people that can allow their dogs barking constantly, I would like to slap them.
No, and I'm of the opinion a well cared for, a well loved dog isn't going to bark. They bark when there's distress.
Yeah.
Or
something's invading its territory.
Yeah, or Timmy's in a well. Then they'll bark.
Yes.
So if your dog's barking at people, there's a problem with you and how you've raised your dog. That's purely my
I'm that guy that has knocked on the neighbor's door at 2 a.m. and said, hey, I cannot sleep because your dog keeps barking. And they're like, you're going to knock on my door at 2 a.m.? I'm like, your dog is barking at 2 a.m. I'm awake. You might as well be awake too.
Yeah. If you're sleeping through that, there's another problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about fireworks? What's your position on that?
I love fireworks.
If I'm shooting fireworks at 1 a.m.
Totally cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's an acceptable fireworks situation.
Yeah.
Holiday.
4th of July, New Year's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Tuesdays. As long as it's
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, as long as there's a celebratory reason that you're doing it. If you're just doing it because, hey, I bought these fireworks and I want to wake up the neighborhood,
but that's not happening all that often. That's happening like maybe.
It just happened the other day.
Well,
I shot off 3 fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
For what reason?
But it was for New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy immediately
So on New Year's Eve, someone complained.
Yeah,
about
it was about
fireworks?
what?
Who
No.
complained?
You didn't see that?
That's his
No.
problem. That's not your problem.
Who
He
complained?
was walking his dogs right on the corner there where we were.
Well, it's probably the guy that brings his dogs to the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, I hate to be that neighbor.
Well, then don't.
But I'm gonna be.
Yeah, he's like, but I'm going to call the police if you guys keep firing these off.
He's
So our
called the
friend
police
who was
on us
hosting the
before.
event's like, Adam, we can't shoot any more fireworks off. I'm like,
Yeah.
And the reason is because it upsets the dogs.
I don't know. Yeah. It's too loud in
No.
the neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, something that
Well,
happens.
to be fair, the dog doesn't know it's New Year's Eve.
Well, I don't care. The dog is in my environment 99% of the time being maintained and cared for better than most children.
Right.
I think he can handle a firework once in a while, half a dozen times.
No, I see warnings and
Yeah.
and things on Facebook all the time. Hey, tonight's New Year's Eve or tonight's 4th of July. Please
Be
be
conscious of the
mindful
dogs.
that there's dogs that get upset. Dogs get lost every year, run away, get scared. But if you know
Yeah, that's a backward society.
if you know this
I
thing
don't care.
on Amazon, and I've seen them, and I was tempted to buy it, is there are dog sound earmuffs.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you prepare, your dog should have a fine evening with all the fireworks.
You know, with all I put up with dogs, and I've had several dogs, I clean up their crap, I clean up their vomit, I do a lot of things for those dogs. They can go through an unpleasant night once in a while on the,
No, I mean,
4th of
I think it's
July.
Jerry Seinfeld has a bit about if aliens are observing us
Yeah.
and they see us being led by a rope, by an animal, and then we're picking up its poop.
Yes.
What do those aliens think? Who's the subordinate species here?
Life form. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, but
And I would agree with the aliens that those people who are she's subordinate to the dogs.
Yeah.
And I don't affiliate.
I know people like that, and I love people that are those people. So I know I'm on really
Thin ice here.
thin ice
Yeah.
with this topic,
I'm
this
okay.
particular what I hate this week. But I just think it's just not a direction in society that we should be going,
Yeah.
to where these things are equal to us. I'm fine if you love your dog. I know some of the sweetest people in the world that love their dogs to death. They have multiple dogs. They love them. And God bless them for loving those pets. But when you assume that everyone else also needs to love your pets like you love your pets, that's where we need to have a talk.
Or not.
So my question for you is, this happens. Are you of the personality where you say something,
No.
or you suffer in silence?
No, and it's because I have people that I love that are devoted to their animals. So I try to be respectful of that these people love these animals like they're their children.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to respect that. But it also disgusts me.
This whole discussion, I was thinking, that sounds a lot like my kids. I mean, dogs, kids, you bring them to the restaurant. It's like, I don't want the kids,
I'm
You don't
not
want
saying the kids
here.
are much better. I've seen kids eat poop. So it's not the kid probably isn't much better. In fact, my cat is probably cleaner than most of my nieces and nephews. But I try to take into account that they're children.
They're human. They're
They're
humans.
little humans. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Sean? Did I cut you off?
Nothing. No.
Nothing? You lost your train of thought?
No.
Should we just stop?
You saved me, actually. Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that reminded me when I said, but you're going to do it anyway. So I was at a lunch and Jose Canseco was there.
Ooh, like recently?
No, this was probably 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
So he was in town because they were trying to bring back, he was trying to start a baseball league. He was part of a group that was trying to start a baseball league. And they were trying to get the information out, and they were playing in Yuma. And Jose Canseco was on the team. I don't know if you remember this. So they were trying to drum up support for this kind of
Yeah, it was a bullfrog.
independent league of baseball players, and Jose Canseco was involved. And I just remember, so I have a Jose Canseco rookie card.
Wow.
And so I knew he was going to be at this lunch. So I brought the Jose Canseco rookie card. And it was before he was doing his pitch and all that. So he was just kind of
Hobnobbing.
not really. I mean, he had his own table. He was there with his twin brother.
Okay.
And so they were there and eating and stuff. And so I walked up to the table and I had my, it's mint condition Topps Jose Canseco rookie card. And I say, Mr. Canseco, I hate to interrupt your lunch. And he turns to me and he says, but you're going to do it anyway. And I resented him and respected him all in that at the same time. At the very same time, because I
Take
thought
the card in front of him.
Nope. He took my card, he signed it, handed it back. But no, he wasn't friendly. He's not a friendly guy, and I think he's known for not being super friendly. And I did, I thought, well, I did interrupt his lunch, but then I thought, but I'm here to support you, and I was invited, so don't be a jerk. But he did sign my rookie card, which was cool. But I remember him saying that before I could even finish. He said, but you're going to. Mm-hmm. I hate to interrupt your lunch, but you're going to. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I am going to. Yeah. Because I'm standing here in front of one of my idols of baseball, one of the legends of baseball. You're signing this card, and I'm interrupting your lunch to do it. So, but it just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Is the lunch so important that it can't be interrupted? I grew up in an environment that's like food was just fuel to us. It's not like this experience. It's different for you. You're a master chef. To me, it's like, I could care less, to be honest.
All I can think about is Jose Canseco's twin brother. What is his name? Gerard or something? Gerard Canseco?
I think it's Gerardo, or something like that.
No,
yeah.
I just made that up. Is it Gerardo?
It might be.
Oh, poor guy. I don't know. I was just thinking of the most generic name out there.
Oh, I don't know. Gerard is not a generic name.
Hey, Jose. Oh, hi, Gerard.
John is a generic, but
Hose B.
Gerard is No.
Bad joke.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that to Jose Canseco.
Or his brother.
Hose B.
Hose B.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting your lunch? Fatso. Eat up, tubby. Have him sign the card, and then you're like,
he'd ask you and your dog to leave, I think. At that point.
Yeah, your little Fifi in your arms.
Me and my white crusty are out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Good luck with your baseball league.
Yeah.
Well,
it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, here's some roids.
Yeah, it wasn't successful, but I got to meet Jose Canseco.
Good for you.
And I have a memory to take from it, so I think about that once I was, hey, I hate to interrupt, or I hate to be that guy, but you're going to. Mm-hmm. And I got that from Jose Canseco.
Nice.
Congratulations. That's good.
Yeah, we
good
connected.
for you.
We connected.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it
All
for
right.
today.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it, guys. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We still can say it, right? What's the date today?
The 7th.
The 7th. Okay, I think we're right at the limit.
Okay.
I think it's 7 days after New Year's. You have to stop saying it.
One of my favorite meals is elk. I just forgot. It's with noodles and sauce.
Oh, stroganoff?
Stroganoff.
Elk stroganoff. That is one of my favorite meals.
Let's do it. Actually, real quick, shout out to Juliana's. Their stroganoff that Chef Eddie does at Juliana's here locally. It's fantastic. Go get yourself some.
Okay.
It's good. You don't often see stroganoff on a menu.
Yeah, you don't.
So I was hesitant.
It's interesting.
But it's fantastic. So shout out, Chef Eddie.
I will take your word for it.
Thanks, Chris, for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Always a pleasure.